The first time I encrypted DARPA terminal fritzed out, I chalked it up to a stormy night in the Pacific Northwest. The second time, I figured some tech bro down the street was testing a new gadget. But the third time, when a crimson alert screamed security breach, unauthorized signal intrusion across my screen, I knew someone had royally screwed up. I never would have guessed it was the neighborhood association, and I definitely didn't expect to find a glowing Wi-Fi tower bolted to my roof like it was part of the original blueprints. Staring at that blinking monstrosity, still hot from fresh welds and tangled wires, one thought burned in my mind. Linda from the association had no idea she just hijacked a classified federal cyber line. And she had no clue the guy whose house she turned into a signal hub was the one who designed the intrusion detection system she tripped. My name's Ethan Caldwell. On paper, I'm a freelance IT consultant, the kind of guy who works in sweatpants and can crack a firewall before breakfast. But off the record, I'm a DARPA-level cybersecurity operative embedded under civilian cover. My job is to monitor digital threats that creep too close to national networks, balancing the tightrope between freedom and chaos. I moved to this quiet coastal town of Port Haven, Oregon, 6 months ago, thinking it'd be a perfect low-key base. Man, was I wrong. It all started last week during a routine 2 a.m. audit. My secure data transfer dropped midstream. No big deal, me systems got redundancies tougher than a bunker. But the connection didn't recover. I rebooted, ran diagnostics, and still, something was jamming my signal. I scanned the local spectrum, and it was glowing like a rave. A new, high-powered router was blasting signals straight into my classified bandwidth. That wasn't just weird, it was impossible. My terminal runs on a restricted sub-frequency, locked down by federal mandate. Either someone had cracked a code they shouldn't have, or they'd plugged into something way above their pay grade. The next day, I climbed onto my roof to check my satellite dish. Instead, I found a steel pole drilled through my shingles, anchoring a sleek Wi-Fi antenna that looked like it belonged on a spaceship. Cables snaked into my attic vent, and the drill marks screamed amateur hour. I stood there, jaw slack, processing the audacity. No notice, no permission, just a tower on my house. Someone was about to regret this. An hour later, there was a knock. It was Linda, late 40s, platinum pixie cut, wearing a navy blazer with the Port Haven Neighborhood Association logo. She clutched a tablet and flashed a smile that didn't reach her eyes. "Hi, Ethan," she said like we were old pals. "You probably saw the new community signal tower we installed. It's part of our connectivity upgrade, faster internet for all." She didn't even check if I was following. "Your house has perfect elevation, so we picked it as the central node. The board voted on it last Tuesday." I blinked. "Linda, you bolted a device to my roof without asking me." She laughed, waving a hand. "It's just Wi-Fi, hon. It's not like it's hurting anything." "On my private property," I said, voice flat. Her smile tightened. "Well, the association bylaws allow minor structural changes for community benefit. Roof space isn't explicitly protected. If you've got an issue, bring it to the next meeting. For now, don't touch the equipment, it's delicate." She spun on her heels and strutted off before I could respond. I stood there, dumbfounded, like she'd just spray-painted the Pentagon. That tower wasn't just delicately, it was a national security threat, already flashing red on a federal monitor. I locked the door, lowered the blinds, and fired up my secondary terminal, hidden inside a fake HVAC unit. It linked straight to DARPA's secure cloud. The tower was siphoning signals through my home shielding, rerouting the entire neighborhood's traffic through unsecured ports. Worse, it was logging metadata, uploading it to a server registered to Linda's cousin, Jake, a self-proclaimed tech visionary who'd posted about building a smart neighborhood grid on a blog that got 3 views. Jake had sold Linda on free community Wi-Fi, but instead of proper infrastructure, he'd slapped a tower on my roof and tapped into my power lines. It wasn't just illegal, it was a cybersecurity dumpster fire. The tower was receiving pings from unknown sources, running scripts that scanned devices for vulnerabilities. Spyware was live, flowing through my house. My heart pounded as I typed emergency encryption protocols. This wasn't a neighborhood mix-up, it was a federal crime, and I was ground zero. I needed hard proof before alerting my DARPA handler. So I set a trap. I created 2 decoy files, DARPA satellite logs, and Federal Budget 2026, and planted them on a virtual drive mimicking the tower's data stream. Within hours, both were accessed. The log showed Linda's IP and Jake's cloud account, timestamps aligned. Checkmate. I leaned back, grinning. Linda, you picked the wrong geek to mess with. The next morning, sipping black coffee, I watched the tower's data stream like it was a ticking bomb. The decoy files were opened again, overnight not downloaded, just read. Someone was probing carefully, not some script kiddie snatching data. I traced the access to Linda's IP, rerouted through Jake's VPN, which leaked like a sieve. I could pinpoint him in Linda's basement office. Their digital fingerprints were everywhere, breaking into a government system, courtesy of Linda's rooftop stunt. By noon, I mapped the tower's traffic. Over 30 households were hooked in, their phones, laptops, even a heart monitor, feeding Jake's server. He wasn't just collecting metadata, was recording screen captures, live feeds from unsecured cameras. This was a full-blown spy ring. Why? Money, power, ego? It didn't matter, the law was shattered. I mirrored Jake's server and found folders labeled by address. Bank logins, private chats, audio clips. It wasn't just a crime. It was a violation of every neighbor's dignity. Then came another knock, 3 sharp bangs. Linda stood on my porch with 2 guys in association-branded vests, looking like wannabe cops. "We got a complaint," she said, voice dripping with glee. "You were seen near the tower. It's association property now. Tampering could cut everyone's internet." I raised an eyebrow. "You mean the tower you illegally bolted to my house?" Her smile didn't budge. "It's a sanctioned upgrade. Board approved." "I don't recall voting," I shot back. "Not everyone participates," she snapped, then softened. "These gentlemen need to inspect it." "Nobody's stepping foot inside," I said, stepping closer. "This is my home, not your rental. You've got no jurisdiction without a warrant, and you're trespassing." Linda's face reddened. "This'll look bad at the board review." "I'm not the one installing illegal surveillance," I said coolly. "Think about how that'll look." She stormed off, her goons trailing. My cameras caught one snapping a photo of my window. I tagged it, added it to the dossier, and hit send. The full report logs, maps, video, audio went to my handler with a level 2 breach tag. Minutes later, I was told to keep monitoring while a warrant was prepped. But they warned me, don't spook Linda yet. That night, the tower glowed like a monument to arrogance. I wanted to smash it, but this wasn't about Radget, it was about precision. Justice would hit like a scalpel. By 9 a.m., Jake was back in my honeypot, scraping files, trying to escalate access. Every move tripped my traps. I even caught him stuck in a fake folder, looping techno beats. Meanwhile, I dug into Linda's emails. She bragged on a private forum about next-gen community monitoring, pitching data sales for association funds. She'd even offered a realtor traffic patterns when families walked, who lingered at open houses. She thought it was genius, not a felony. I set up a sting, using a bot to book a fake meeting with Linda as a new resident curious about Wi-Fi. At 3 p.m., my hired decoy, local actor, met her at the association office. I watched via a hidden lens in my car. Linda boasted about tracking visitor devices and laughed off opting out. Only people with secrets worry about that. I stopped recording. She'd buried herself. I uploaded the audio to DARPA. That evening, passing Linda's house, I saw Jake's truck. They were scrambling, probably noticing my traps. At 9:02 p.m., my terminal pinged. A warrant was approved for seizures and arrests. The operation would hit at 1 a.m., silent and swift. At 1:17 a.m., black SUVs rolled in, no lights, no sound. Agents fanned out. Linda opened her door, dazed in pajamas, as they handed her the warrant. Jake tried to ditch his laptop, but an agent snatched it mid-panic. They screamed about rights, but the gear was bagged in Faraday cages. The association office was gutted, routers, drives, Linda's community oversight, notes, all seized. By 3:30 a.m., the tower was dark, my roof quiet. The tech left a note. Nice work. By morning, Port Haven buzzed. Linda's blinds stayed shut. Jake's truck vanished. Her vague resignation email cited health issues, but rumors flew. The Wi-Fi project was paused for technical reasons. Neighbors knocked, curious. I shrugged. Tech got too clever. They left puzzled. Days later, the truth leaked. Devices showed odd alerts, webcams active, logins breached. At a packed town hall, I shared enough. The tower's data theft, the surveillance. The room erupted. The association was dissolved, bylaws rewritten. I declined their tech role, but gave them a security guide. That night, my roof patched, I sipped a beer under the stars. Peace for now. Weeks later, Linda pleaded guilty to surveillance and fraud, getting probation and bans. Jake got 7 years, no parole. The case stayed quiet, but neighbors learned. They ditched smart devices, questioned networks. A new couple moved in, asking about Wi-Fi. I smiled, set up your own. At night, I walked past Linda's empty house. For sale, secrets gone. My terminal hummed, flagging a new signal in Idaho. Another tower, another watcher. I'd be ready. What would you do if your neighbor turned your home into a spy hub? Should HOAs have power over private property? Is digital privacy worth fighting for? Or are we too far gone? Drop your thoughts below, hit like, and subscribe for more stories that'll keep you up at night.